Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders at GMS Root Well. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's out there fighting, doing this work with truth and sincerity. It's your brother Bonsapod. Back at you again with another lesson, and Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there that are listening and watching these videos. That's a quick lesson I want to get into concerning the so-called Negroes that was brought over here on cargo slave ships. Through history and through the spirit, all of Israel, which consists of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, have all been in captivity. Regardless of what tribe you come from of the nation of Israel, we all were scattered and we all was brought into captivity. The most commonly known of slavery for the so-called Negroes was the cargo slave ship, which is the transatlantic slave trade. Once again, all the other Israelites of our nation was in captivity as well through the Spaniards and other different heathen nations that had us in captivity. So this is most commonly known, but all of Israel was in captivity at one time. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So it says here to be sold a cargo of 94 prime healthy Negroes consisting of 39 men and 15 boys, 24 women, and 16 girls just arrived. Brigantine Dimba, Francis Barney Mafta from Sierra Leone by David and John Diaz. So once again, and this is in 1769. So a lot of us went through all parts of the world, okay? And the reason being, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai, got me doing this video because you Israelites have to know this. You went into slavery because we provoked the Holy One of Israel, which is named, whom the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahweh in the Hebrew. In whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, which I hate saying them names. His name is Yahweh Shai. We say W-A meaning Wah, meaning and. That's why we say Yahweh Wah, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh and his son, Yahweh Shai. You see, he gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. And as we broke those laws, statutes, and commandments, the result of that was us being in slavery. Okay? And that we was going to come out of slavery in the land of our captivity. Okay? That's why you see the men of the Lord, beginning with the apostles and elders of GMS, and the men on down out on the highways and byways, proclaiming and telling you these things, man, and giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. So this is the book of Baruch, chapter 4-6. You were sold to the nations. You see, we were sold to the nations. The nations didn't have any strength upon themselves to put us in captivity. It was from on high. It was from Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Bahashem meaning in the name. Okay? It was in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Shai that we was going into captivity because we provoked the Holy One of Israel. So he put us into the hands of our enemies. He put our necks in the hand of our enemies, man. So it said, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. And that's another point I want to make through the spirit is that he said we was going to be sold to nations, but not to our destruction. He wasn't going to totally destroy us. Nonetheless, he was definitely go punish us and definitely go destroy us, but not to total destruction. And the reason why that's prophecy and that's true, because now, what? You got the men of the Lord, beginning with the apostles and the elders of GMS and the men on down out there prophesying and telling you these things. So there was going to be a remnant left that was going to come back to the ways of Yahweh Bashim Shai and teach his people and to bring his people back to him. So not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemy. So we moved the Most High to anger. We angered him. Our ancestors, our forefathers angered Yahweh Bashim Shai by what? Transgressing the laws that he put upon us. Because those laws was to make us to be different Separate meaning holy. We were supposed to be holy and separate from these other nations. We were supposed to be on high. We were supposed to be the head and not the tail, how it speaks about it in the book of Deuteronomy. We're the tail and the other nations are the head. How we the tail? Do we not go to the other nations for the want of all things? Stop playing, man. You know what I'm saying? We go to every nation for the want of all things, man. We don't have anything. But we have this wisdom, this knowledge and understanding, those who's back into the good graces, Lord, when we those men, man. So he said, Baruch 4 and 6, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies. And that's why we went through all kind of hell, because we was put into the hands of our enemies, because we provoked Yahweh by Shema Bashar to wrath. Verse 7 says it, for ye provoked him that made you. We didn't create ourselves. We didn't create skin, lungs, heart, kidneys, liver, veins, tendons, tissue, cells, blood, less known a whole human being, eyes, eyebrows, lips, nose, cartilage, thumb, pinky toes, everything. So Yahweh Bashar Bashar created us. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. Because our people went a-whoring after other so-called gods, after fake idolatry images. You see, our people was very highly induced into serving so-called gods of wood and stone, and not the true living power of Yahweh by Shema Bashar. And that's what you see going on today, is that you serving yourselves, you serving the so-called, you serving the so-called white image of Yahweh Bashar, which is not the true image. You serving your own belly, you doing things according to your mind, but not according to the scriptures. So the Most High said, okay, I'm going to turn you over to that. And I'm going to put you into captivity, but not for your destruction, meaning that we will get our asses beat to the point we seeing through the spirit of what happened. You see what I'm saying? To us and his people, man. To his people and to us, man, as a whole, man. Because we provoked the Holy One of Israel, man. And with that, we have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nourished you. And that's what's going on today still, man. So partly why you see us getting gunned down in the streets, you know what I'm saying, wrongful dealings, for last hire, first fires, however that saying goes. Other nations looking at you like you monkeys and animals. Other nations not respecting you. Because we forgot Yahweh Bashar Bashar that made us and that nourished us up. You see? So that's just a quick lesson through the spirit of Yahweh Bashar Bashar, that the reason why you see these things happening, you're not getting a fair shake. People looking at you crazy, like I just mentioned. You don't have any money. You in ghettos. You broke. You trying to start a so-called black bank. We not black, man. We're Israelites, man. Get that through your head, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true biblical Israelites. No one is Mexican. No one is Puerto Rican. No one is Haitian. No one is Dominican. Those are bywords from our enemies, man. No one is black. No one is Jamaican. No one is Haitian. You see what I'm saying? No one is Cuban. Those are bywords, man, that was put upon us, man, like it speaks about in the book of Deuteronomy, man. You are Israelites, man. Wake up, you bubblehead people. You are Israelites. History and the spirit proves that time and time and time again. So wake up, man. You were sold to the nations because we moved the Most High to wrath. And now we're waking up again through the spirit of Yahweh Bashar Bashar to come out on the highways and byways to tell you these things, so therefore you can come back into the good graces and be delivered from the time of Jacob's trouble, the destruction of this age, and the end of all heathen nations. With that, I hope it was edifying. Until the next time, I shall say, Shalom.